The night tasted like rain even before the clouds broke. Daria Miles, 32, EMT, tired from a double shift, was driving home along Route 17 when the blue and red lights flashed behind her. She sighed, pulled over, and rehearsed the usual mental script every black driver knows. Stay calm, keep hands visible, don't make sudden moves. But when she lowered her window, the script collapsed. One officer approached, shouting, not speaking, not instructing, shouting as if danger already existed. Hands on the wheel, now! They're already there, Daria said, voice steady. Another officer circled toward the passenger side. She saw his hand hovering over his holster. Something was off. His eyes were wide, unfocused, adrenaline pumping for no reason she could see. And then it happened. A crack split the night. A muzzle flash. A scream. Hers or his. She wasn't sure. The first bullet tore through her door. And the only thought Daria had left was, they're going to kill me even though I did nothing. Her EMT instincts kicked in before fear could freeze her. Daria ducked sideways, ripping the seatbelt free as two more shots punched through the metal. She felt heat, maybe from the bullet grazing her shoulder, maybe from the panic sizzling through her veins. The officers kept firing. No order, no justification, just chaos. She reached into her glove compartment, not for a weapon, but for the small, legal 9mm gun her uncle, a retired military officer, had insisted she carry after responding to too many violent calls as an EMT. Don't ever look for trouble, he had told her. But if trouble finds you and leaves you no choice, survive. More glass shattered. The window collapsed. Another bullet missed her head by inches. Her survival instinct roared to life. Daria swung her door open, rolled into the pavement, and yelled, "Stop shooting! I'm not armed!" But they weren't listening. When one officer aimed directly toward her crouched form, she squeezed her eyes shut and fired back. One desperate shot, not to kill, but to stop them from killing her. And the world fell into stunned silence. One officer stumbled backward, hit in the leg, not fatal, but enough to make the others freeze. The gunfire stopped. For the first time that night, she could breathe. Within minutes, the road swarmed with squad cars. Someone yelled, "Officer down!" Someone else yelled, "Suspect armed!" No one wanted to hear her voice. But one thing changed everything. A truck driver who had stopped behind the scene stepped forward with his phone raised. He shouted, "I recorded everything. She didn't do anything. They fired first." Suddenly, the narrative the officers were already crafting, aggressive suspect, initiated violence, dangerous behavior, shattered before it could harden. Backup officers looked from Daria to the trucker to the original pair, confusion spreading. The sergeant on scene took the phone, played the video, and his face drained of color. The recording showed officers firing at a woman sitting calmly, hands visible, no pret, nothing in her lap or hands except the steering wheel. It showed Daria diving for cover only after the third shot. It showed her firing back precisely once. By the time the ambulance arrived, ironically staffed by EMTs who knew her, Daria wasn't treated like a suspect anymore. She was treated like someone who had been hunted. But justice isn't fast, and it isn't guaranteed. She was taken in for questioning anyway. Hours passed. Lawyers arrived, statements were taken. The wounded officer confirmed he never saw a weapon before firing. His partner contradicted him. The department grew nervous, and Daria sat in a small interrogation room, replaying every second in her mind. Every bullet, every shout, every time she thought she would die on the roadside for no reason at all. A detective finally entered, carrying a folder so thick it had to be trouble. "Miss Miles, the video was clear. You didn't provoke anything. You didn't escalate. You tried to survive." He exhaled. "Internal affairs is already involved. This isn't on you." "But I shot someone," she whispered. He shook his head. "You returned fire after being shot at. That's self-defense." Silence stretched. Then, "We're releasing you." Relief hit her like a wave, but it didn't erase the fear. It didn't erase the memory of that first gunshot ripping through her door. And it didn't erase the truth. If that trucker hadn't been there, none of this would have been believed. Not for a second. The next morning, sunlight poured through her apartment windows like nothing had happened. But the world outside was buzzing. The video had gone viral, not because violence draws attention, but because the truth, undeniable, unfiltered, forced people to confront what nearly happened to an innocent woman. Community members held rallies, lawyers filed motions, journalists demanded answers. And the two officers involved were placed on leave pending charges. A week later, Daria stood on the steps of City Hall, thousands gathered around her. She wasn't a symbol. She wasn't a headline. She was simply a woman who survived something she shouldn't have had to survive. She raised the microphone. "I'm not here because I'm brave. I'm here because accountability doesn't start with people like me. It starts with the people who swore to protect us. I want safer policing. I want better training. I want systems that value every life equally." The crowd erupted, not in anger, but in hope. Her story wasn't just about one night. It was about making sure no one else had to choose between staying alive and staying silent. And as the cheers echoed through the city, Daria realized something. They tried to bury her voice in the dark, but she had walked back into the light and brought the whole world with her.